Alongside Chris Johnson, Pierre LeBrun, and Darren Dreger. Chris, Brendan Shanahan went through an incredibly detailed recap of how he decided to remove Kyle Dubas. So we were all anxious to hear Dubas' side of the story, but he comes out with a statement which virtually said, no comment. You remember just a week ago, he said it's the Leafs or nobody, but is that starting to shift now, CJ?
Well, it certainly seems like a possibility, and I'll point you to the title of that statement that Kyle Dubas put out, called Onward. And it does appear as though he's moving onward. And of course, we know the Pittsburgh Penguins have already received permission from the Maple Leafs to have a conversation with Kyle Dubas about their openings. And as someone pointed out to me, the paradigm has shifted here. When Kyle Dubas mentioned that he wasn't going to walk away from the Maple Leafs, that's when he was involved in negotiations, trying to get an extension done with the team, and he was removing the possibility of other clubs. Now that they've walked away from him, I think it's very possible, and the smart money would be on him being open to other opportunities out there.
All right, so while Dubas tries to decide about his future, Shanahan and the Leafs are on the clock, especially since Matthews, Marner, Nylander all have no moves that kick in on July the 1st. What's the latest on their search, Darren?
Well, I want to take you back to last Friday, Gino, and Brendan Shanahan, as you've described, laid out the parameters very thoroughly, I would say. And right near the top of his list is an experienced general manager. I believe that they've engaged with Brad Treliving, so the process is underway. What I don't expect Shanahan and company to do is go through a process similar to what Calgary did, likewise what Pittsburgh is doing in search of their general manager, where they identify as many as maybe a dozen candidates to interview. So this could be a week, it could be more. No specific timeline, but again, they're leaning on experience. I know that the St. Louis Blues would love for all the speculation around their general manager, Doug Armstrong, linking him to the Toronto Maple Leafs to go away. A high-ranking source within the Blues organization describes the speculation as fabrication. I mean, they value Doug Armstrong because of the work that he's done as general manager, very successful GM, and he's also under contract. So it's unlikely Armstrong is going anywhere.
Yeah, and there's no question the reason Doug Armstrong's name is out there, Dregs, as you know, is because the Leafs would have talked about him internally because he is in many ways the ideal candidate, checks all the boxes, except that he's not available. And for him to become available, it'd be one of two things that would need to happen. Doug Armstrong would have to go to his boss, Blues owner Tom Stillman, and say, this is a special opportunity. Can I see what's going on here? Or Brendan Shanahan would have to go to Tom Stillman and say, I know your GM has 3 more years left on his deal, but is there any way I could talk to him? Again, it seems like a long shot, but you understand why the speculation is out there because he would be the ideal fit in Toronto.
So many balls in the air right now. In a perfect world, the Leafs would love to extend Austin Matthews before his no move kicks in because after that, they have virtually no leverage at all. Any progress on those discussions, Chris?
Well, really all there's been is a mountain of speculation since Kyle Dubas and the Maple Leafs parted ways about what this might mean for Austin Matthews, whether it's likely or more likely for him to get a deal. What I can tell you is nothing has changed since the last time we heard Austin Matthews speak in front of the cameras. It's his intention to remain in Toronto, as he said on Locker Cleanout Day. And really at this point in time, he's just sitting back and watching and seeing how this plays out. Him and his agent, Judd Moldaver, need to get all the data here. Who is the new general manager? What is his or her vision for the team? Who's coaching the team? All the roster decisions that are coming. And I think, it's obviously going to take some time for that to shake loose. And I should mention as well, Gino, that the Leafs' top players in their discussions with Brendan Shanahan were told that they're not likely to move, that the vision right now is a core 4 will be back next year. So that obviously includes Austin Matthews.
Wow. All right. So, Pierre, the Leafs lost their general manager. They may move on from their head coach. And apparently they could be losing other bodies from inside the organization as well.
Yeah, assistant coach Spencer Carberry. And I don't know that this is shocking. There was always a sense that even if Kyle Dubas was still GM, by the way, that Carberry was going to draw attention from other teams. He did last summer as well. He met Monday with the Washington Capitals, we're told. Remember, he used to coach in the Caps organization. He also has drawn interest, we're told, from the Anaheim Ducks and the New York Rangers. So we'll see where that goes for Spencer Carberry.
Insider Trading, the Toronto Maple Leafs edition with Chris Johnston, Pierre LeBrun, and Darren Dreger.